Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Christian World News. I'm George Thomas.
And I'm Wendy Griffith. Well, after 2 years held prisoner in Turkey, Pastor Andrew Brunson went from a courtroom to the Oval Office all in less than 24 hours. The world watched as he thanked President Donald Trump and then knelt down to pray for him.
The pastor's journey began 2 long years ago when Turkish officials detained Brunson and charged him with trying to overthrow the government. In our Christian World News interview, I asked him about that experience and how God got him through. Andrew, how did God sustain you these last 18 months?
Well, I think through the prayers of God's people. What I've said to my wife, I said, where is all the grace that I expected to come pouring out from these? Obviously, many people are praying, where is the grace? And what I found is that God was taking me a different route and was not letting me feel or sense the grace that is there that's sustaining me. So I say it was like an unfelt grace, an unseen grace. But then as I look back on the things he brought me through, and I realize my incredible weakness, then I say, oh, he was there the whole time. He was carrying me through. The grace was there, I just didn't sense it.
Did you ever lose hope?
Oh, yes. Especially the first year. I was really broken a number of times. I lost hope. And that's where I came to a point where I had to look away from hope and more towards submission. And the point of the submission was saying, God, if this is what you have for me, I don't have the strength to do this. I can't endure in prison long term for years. I don't want to. But if this is what you have for me, then I want to serve your purposes. But then I need you to strengthen me. I need you to pour into me the courage, the strength, the perseverance, the steadfastness of Jesus, because I don't have it. So every day I would pray for this. And it became my cry was, I want to be found worthy to stand before you on that day without regrets from things left undone, from cowardice. So I don't want to be a coward. I don't want to leave undone the assignment that you've given me, but I need your strength for it.
Noreen, you were in prison with Andrew for 13 days, then you had a chance they let you go. What got you through those 18 months when you only had a chance to see Andrew once a week for 35 minutes? It then got extended to an hour. But what got you through?
Yeah, again, first of all, the prayers of people around the world. Some were especially touching to us. All prayers were wonderful. We were really touched by the prayers of the Turkish church. We were touched by the prayers of Iranians, Chinese. These are suffering churches. And to know that they are praying for us was just very humbling. So that was, there's no question that we were carried on a wave of prayer. Yeah, secondly, it's just pressing into the Lord. Difficult times, that's what we do, right? We have to press into the Lord a whole lot more. So.
And I'm sure that there were days when you were getting ready to see your husband, once a week.
Sure.
That you were weak, and
absolutely,
and in some ways you had to.
Absolutely.
Did you have to dig deep in order to be there for him?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it was hard to get up in the morning. Every morning I was just very slow to I'd wake up. I sleep well at night, but I wake up and I'm back in this again. And very slow to start my day, but I had to just start it with the Lord, definitely. Certain things I would pray through. It wasn't a rote thing, it was fresh every day because I knew how much I needed it. And there was a shift from, Lord, walk through this day with me, to, Lord, you lead me. We're still walking together, but you lead me through this day. So definitely spending a lot of time in His presence, sometimes just sitting quietly, because I thought, what can I say, Lord? But definitely holding on to Him.
We are Christian World News. We were reporting on your plight for a very long time. Literally, there were people in some of the most difficult parts of the world, whether it's Afghanistan, Iran, China, Saudi Arabia, all around the world, believers who were facing tremendous challenges, but they knew your story and they prayed.
Amazing.
How does that make you feel?
Well, I never felt worthy of this prayer. It was astounding to me. As Noreen would tell me, I'm very isolated in prison. But Noreen would tell me, these people are praying here, they're praying in this other country. And I'm thinking, why? because, you know, we're in a corner of Turkey ministering for years in relative obscurity. Why should all these people be praying for me? And I came to see that the Lord was doing something much bigger than just dealing with me. That He was gathering prayer, I think, for Turkey, for the purposes that He has for that country, and also in the Middle East. So I think I'm a little part of something very big that God is doing. And that's why God raised awareness in other countries and had people praying for us.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
George, that's so amazing that you got to sit down with them. I got
Yeah.
to meet them briefly, but you really got to find out what it was like to be in that Turkish prison. What was that like for you?
Well, I mean, it really, you know, you get a sense that he's processing this. I mean,
Yeah.
it's only been a week since he was released, so it's going to take some time, but clearly he went through an incredible ordeal for the first year. The second year was much better, but that first year, those first few months were very, very difficult, and truly our prayers have been answered.
All right. Thank you, George.
You're welcome.